Alan and Naomi, Chapter 3. Alan lay on his bed, his mathematics book face down on his stomach. Math. Jane's age, and Tom's age, and this car going twice as fast as that car. Why couldn't they make it interesting? Why couldn't they have something about baseball averages, or a Spitfire going twice as fast as a Messerschmitt? Alan looked at his model of a Supermarine Spitfire suspended from the ceiling by a length of kite string. It was turning very slowly high above his desk. He had learned to draw its thin, sleek profile in math class, and every other page of his notebook had Spitfires roaring down the margin in wrenching dives. Sometimes he wondered if it was unpatriotic to like a British plane better than an American plane, including the P-40 with its angry shark's mouth painted on the underbelly. But the P-40 was a close second. How could any girl, anywhere, ever understand anything about pursuit planes, especially a crazy girl? Sean Kelly and he fought endlessly on the way to school over the merits of the P-40 versus the Spitfire, and the Yanks versus the Brooklyn Dodgers. They talked about stickball and about flying their model planes. They told each other the latest dirty jokes circulating around the class. What would a girl talk about? She couldn't speak English anyway. It was dumb. It was just plain dumb. His mother could play with that girl herself. Let her try it for a while. Because you're lucky, his father had said. Lucky? Lucky for what? Probably to be alive. His father had said that many times. Lucky to be alive in America. That was luck, all right. If he had been born in Germany or Poland or France, he'd probably be in a concentration camp now. Or he'd be hiding somewhere, running from the Nazis. He'd probably be... He didn't let himself finish the thought. He took up the math book and stared at the next problem. Another age problem. Who cares how old anyone is? Who cares if Jack is 1,000,000 times older than Mac? Then the thought slipped out. He'd probably be like Naomi, crouching in the hallway, afraid of a stickball bat. Alan remembered the map she'd been tearing. He sat up and took the scrap of paper from his pocket. He decided to examine it, the way Ellery Queen would, for clues. Could those red lines mean anything? Some had arrows attached to them. They reminded him of a battle map, like his father's map of the war fronts. And those words, Geheimstaatspolizei, they sounded German, not French. Maybe the girl and her mother were actually spies. Alan let a headline flash in his mind. Al Silverman, Private Eye, discovers New York hideout of Nazi spies from mystery map. Yes, spies. And the words were a code, the lines a secret route. Geheimstaatspolizei. Maybe every odd letter. Gitasso? No. Every even letter. Imsap. No. Then what? Stats sounded like states? Policy? Polish? Polish states? Maybe. Geheim? Go home? Go home Polish states? No. Police? State police? That must be it. Geheim. Then suddenly Alan saw. Geheimstaatspolizei. Gestapo. Gestapo. The Nazi secret police. The Gestapo. They were spies. She and her mother. No, that wasn't it at all. That wasn't it. But for a flickering second, he wished it were true. Wished the map had secret instructions to blow up New York. But no, of course they weren't spies. They were victims. The words on the map had been written by the girl in fear, from something crazy in her mind. That face, had it ever smiled? He tried to picture Naomi laughing, but he couldn't. Did she sit huddled in a corner of her room tearing up maps all night? Did she ever listen to the radio or read a book? Did she ever sing or say something funny or talk to anyone? You might just as well be dead. Alan went to his window and looked at the apartments across the courtyard. He knew every window from years of living in the same building. The Liebmans had the 2 windows above on the left. One window was lit, the other was dark. And at the dark window, he saw the girl staring out. Alan knew it was a bedroom window. All of the bedroom windows lined up, one above the other, and all of the living room windows, too. Alan waved to the girl, but she didn't move. Had she seen him? Yes, he was sure she had. She was looking right at him. He waved again. Why didn't she wave back? What could she be afraid of now? There was a courtyard between them. Maybe she was thinking about her father all covered with blood. Alan tried to picture his own father lying on the floor, bleeding and dying, but he couldn't. He just couldn't. In his thoughts, his father stirred and made a funny face, only playing at being wounded, trying to make Alan laugh. If only I could make Naomi laugh, right now, he thought. Alan glanced around his bedroom quickly. What could he show her that was funny? His model airplane? The Spitfire? It wasn't funny. It might even scare her. No war stuff. His magician's hat and mustache? That could be funny. But still, it might scare her too. Alan opened his closet door and searched through the wreckage of old toys. A homemade sailboat? Not funny. A Tinker Toy set? Not for this. Fielder's glove, plaster of Paris statue kit, dump truck, broken ukulele. No, they weren't any good. Then he saw his old, beat-up Charlie McCarthy dummy in the debris. You could make it talk, just like Edgar Bergen did, by pulling a string at the back that moved the lower jaw up and down. Only the jaw wouldn't open anymore, and the head was half off. Still, this might be good. Alan took the dummy to the window, keeping it below the sill. Naomi was still looking out towards his window. He raised the dummy slowly and waved its arm towards Naomi. He paused, then waved again. Naomi abruptly left the window. Alan sighed, then made Charlie McCarthy speak the way he had years ago when he had gotten the toy for his 8th birthday. I guess our show's a flop, Mr. Bergen, said the dummy. Well, Charlie, we all have to have our losers, said Alan. That's all right, Mr. Bergen. I'll take you any time. I'm big-hearted that way. Behave, Charlie, or I'll put you back in the closet. Alan stopped in the middle of his line. Above, across the courtyard, Naomi had reappeared at her window holding a doll, and she was waving the doll's arm. Alan raised Charlie McCarthy up high and waved his arm furiously. The doll waved back once more before Naomi disappeared with it into the dark room. Alan stood and waited, but she didn't return. How was that, Mr. Bergen? Alan made the dummy ask. I don't know, said Alan, forgetting to sound like Edgar Bergen. I guess it was okay. Okay, it was terrific. She waved back. It was like she was saying hello, Alan said for the dummy. I know, said Alan. So what's the problem? Asked McCarthy. You know what's the problem. Now we're stuck with her, that's what. Now we're going to have to play with her. Why? Asked the dummy. I hate kids. I only like Dorothy Lamour and Lana Turner and all those pinup girls. Ha-cha-cha. You know me. I'm Charlie McCarthy. Let's drop her cold, Mr. Bergen. We can't. Why not? Because she needs us. Right? Right. You know she needs us. Anything you say, Mr. Bergen. I say she needs us. I say you're a sap. Shut up. Okay, Bergen, you're the boss.